Armenia has been facing many structural challenges and difficulties in turning promise of SDGs into real benefits of its people. Additionally, security environment in our region and beyond, the land blockade imposed by two neighbors create additional obstacles for Armenia in achieving SDGs and increasing resiliency of the country.
It is now expected that approximately 7% of the world's population will still be living in extreme poverty in 2030. Even without taking increasing conflicts into account, climate change threatens to push a further 132 million to this point. ODA remains a fundamental part in addressing these crises.
The multilateral development banks, these institutions should be capitalized to increase their footprint in financing development, coupled with reforms to broaden and strengthen the participation of developing countries in decision-making and norm-setting. Governance bodies must be empowered to keep governments in check and ensure efficient utilization of resources.
In a context where corporate tax rates have declined by over 40% in the last 40 years, on a global basis, the involvement of private capital in the development landscape is unavoidable.
Today, 3.3 billion people live in countries that spend more on interest payments than on education and health. It is evident that in the absence of debt restructuring at scale, there is no fiscal space left for developing economies to invest in the SDGs.
Our aim is to amplify calls for changes to the global financial architecture to make our financial systems more fit for cities. Addressing the financing challenges faced by local governments is vital for achieving the SDGs.
With an FCDG gap of 4 trillion USD in developing countries, we have a moral imperative to counter this off-track trend. This critical shortfall demands urgent and decisive action to reform the development finance architecture to make greater volume of public and private resources available for those most in need.
The commitments on financing to developing nations by the developed world remain unfulfilled, leading to funding shortfalls. We know that adequate affordable financing remains a challenge for most developing countries, which impedes the progress in realizing the SDGs.
Le Luxembourg s'aligne sur la déclaration faite par l'Union européenne. L'architecture financière internationale ne permet actuellement pas de combler le déficit de financement croissant des ODD, qui s'élève à 4 000 milliards de dollars par an.